yesterday, the Browns pulled off a thrilling, confusing, overall up and down game, 39-38 on the road against Indianapolis. Instead of running down the game sequence by sequence, I'll just talk about what sticks out, as if I just try to give a general recap of everything that happened in this game, the video would take much too long. A couple players that were instrumental to this win for the Browns, at least in my opinion, were Myles Garrett and Dustin Hopkins. Myles Garrett was a whole beast and a half yesterday. 9 total tackles, 2 strip sacks. One of them was recovered in the end zone by Tony Fields for 6 automatically. The other strip sack set up a short touchdown drive by the offense. And those were even the most impressive parts of the game for Myles Garrett. His blocked field goal, where he just jumped over the Colts offensive special teams field goal blocking line from a standstill. Remember, you can't just jump over somebody with a running start from more than 1 yard out. Jumped over the Colts offensive line from a standstill, didn't make contact with anybody. That would have been a penalty too, and he just gave himself a clear lane to block the kick. And the kick return on that block set up a field goal. So Myles Garrett playing a direct role in 17 points for the Browns. And then you have Dustin Hopkins, who became the first NFL kicker to make a 50-plus yard field goal in 5 consecutive games. First time ever, so congratulations to Dustin Hopkins. He made 3 from 50-plus yards, 2 from 54, 1 from 58. He also made 1 from 44 yards out, so no easy chip shots for Dustin Hopkins in that one. He's now 7 for 7 from 50-plus yards this season for the Browns, and you have to figure he's going to win AFC Special Teams Player of the Week again after he got it last week after his efforts against the 49ers as well. He has definitely been well worth the 7th-round pick that the Browns sent to the Chargers. Certainly, the record for the Browns would be worse if they had just stuck with Cade York and didn't cut him and bring Hopkins in. Something else that went in the Browns' favor this week was officiating. Usually when I'm talking about bad reffing and the Cleveland Browns, it's usually I'm just discussing how the refs screwed over Cleveland, but not this week. I certainly would not blame any Colts fans if they were to try to get some Freedom of Information Act stuff going on some of the refs' bank accounts, but you had the back-to-back illegal contact and defensive pass interference calls on Cleveland's final drive. Definitely a little suspect, definitely benefited the Browns in a huge way, and as a Browns fan, I'll certainly take it, but Kareem Hunt getting in the end zone twice in this game, including the game winner on 4th and goal as time was winding down. Jed Wills leading the way on that run. I do feel like Jed Wills, he has had some solid games after the bye week, after he's kind of turned into a pretty unpopular figure among the Browns fan base. I do think it's nice to see him kind of get back into some sort of rhythm. At this point, I do think he's going to average out as an average left tackle, where some games he'll be worse, some games he'll be a little better, and it's just going to be good and bad games with Jed Wills at this point. The defense in general, in my opinion, was a little bit bipolar in this one. We weren't really sure what we were going to get from quarter to quarter, from drive to drive. Would they force like a game-changing turnover, like that Denzel Ward interception, or would Indianapolis drive down the field and have Gardner Minshew get a rushing touchdown? Gardner Minshew had 2 running touchdowns, by the way. Myles Garrett himself, even though I did mention all the great things he did, and the Browns definitely don't win the game if Myles Garrett doesn't do what he does, but, does he make an otherworldly play to change the game in his own right, or does he jump off sides, check himself out of the play, and that leads to a long touchdown for Indianapolis? Also, on the defense, a lot of missed and broken tackles against Indianapolis as well. That is something that we saw a little bit against Baltimore. Definitely want to work on cleaning that up, making sure you're really wrapping up tackles there. Gardner Minshew using his legs, also a bit of a wrinkle that the Cleveland defense that either weren't anticipating it, or they didn't really know how to stop it. I do wonder if the Colts saw some of the Ravens tape where Lamar Jackson and his threat as a runner did seem to impact how the Browns approached the run games against the Ravens, and the Ravens were able to get some yardage running the ball. I do feel like Jonathan Taylor had a pretty good day for the Colts, 4.2 yards per carry and a touchdown. While those pure numbers don't exactly jump out as a super big contribution, considering some of the troubles that other running backs have had against Cleveland, I do feel like that is a pretty good showing in Jonathan Taylor, and as he gets back into shape with the Colts. But the defense was a bit of a mixed bag, but what was truly concerning about this game, moving forward long-term for the Browns, was the quarterback play from Deshaun Watson, the quarterback situation in general. Watson was in. I believe he was said to be a full participant in practice on Friday, and so all seemed good to go. He's been kind of getting closer and closer to being full health for some time now, and you figure, he's going to get fully healthy, and he's going to be back in. And then we saw Deshaun Watson play, and it was it definitely does not inspire confidence moving forward. He went 1 for 5, threw a pick, should have been 2 interceptions, but the one was called back after the defensive back just barely dropped the ball, just barely let it hit the ground. Then Deshaun Watson would take a hit. he would stay down for a long time after the replay showed that his head hit the turf. He's checked in for a concussion. PJ Walker comes in, and PJ Walker is his usual self. I'll touch a little bit more on PJ Walker at the end, the very tail end here. However, Deshaun Watson comes back out of the tent. He's holding his helmet, but he doesn't go back in the game. PJ Walker stays out there, and he was cleared from the concussion protocol. The NFL said he's good to go back in if they wanted to put him back in, and the Browns did say that there was really nothing to update regarding his shoulder at the time. And it was clarified that the Browns decided to keep him off of the field as a precaution against any sort of further injury. I feel like, in my opinion, that's kind of a diplomatic way of saying that the Browns kind of benched him after he started the game as awfully as he did. I mean, maybe Deshaun Watson was still hurt, but that wasn't really the messaging coming from the organization or the player heading into this game, where he was fully participating in practice on Friday. Some of the reporters pregame said, like, unless it just has something like a big old bag of like cinder blocks fall on Deshaun Watson's shoulder, he'll be playing. And he did get in, and he just looked really bad. All of his throws weren't good. Again, he was 1 for 5. It's not like he had a couple of drops go against him or anything. It was just a really rough showing. And I guess in postgame, it's revealed that he's day-to-day again, which, if he wasn't 100% going into the game, why is he really even out there to begin with? It's kind of like Schrodinger's injury. He's either bad and also hurt, or he's hurt there and therefore also bad. And for PJ Walker, I know PJ Walker has been involved in 2 wins, and that is encouraging to see that the Browns, they can win games with PJ Walker at the helm. I don't think he's been consistently good in his time with the Browns. He's, again, definitely serviceable enough to where week to week he can be the quarterback in games that Cleveland happens to win. But honestly, I don't feel confident about the Browns entering a playoff or a must-win kind of game in that sort of scenario with PJ Walker being the starting quarterback heading in there. And there has been some clamoring for a trade for Jacoby Brissett to come back to the Browns, which, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't mind. Jacoby Brissett played a lot better than expected for the Browns last season. Hasn't really gotten a chance to show really much of anything with Washington, as they're sticking with Sam Howell there. But that is a sign of seeing that there is a popular opinion that Jacoby Brissett should be traded for. That's a sign that this quarterback situation has gone completely off the rails. And before anybody talks about, I think most people know that Dorian Thompson-Robinson at this point, DTR, is essentially a no-go. And you have Kevin Stefanski post-game saying that for sure Deshaun Watson is going to start against the Seahawks. Deshaun Watson not really seeming as confident as Kevin Stefanski is on that regard, and apparently there's going to be some MRI results that I think are going to come in tomorrow regarding if Deshaun Watson has any sort of major injury to his shoulder that he sustained against Indianapolis. I don't know nobody knows what's going on with this quarterback situation, and once again, it has just become a circus of a quarterback situation around. Whatever this team does, they are doomed to be just a complete soap opera at the quarterback position. But I will keep it positive. I will end the video on a positive note. The Browns did win. They are 4-2. They are keeping pace with an AFC North division that is getting better and better by the week. I believe I saw that they're still the only division to not have a team below 500 as of right now. So the Browns keeping pace in that regard. And if they don't end up winning the division, they're going to have to stack these wins in order to try to earn a playoff spot in the wild card. So either way, I'm feeling positive about the Browns win, obviously, but there is some reason for trepidation moving forward. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did make it this far into it, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more like it. Let me know what you thought about this game and how the Browns will fare in the future down in the comments below. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next one.